What if I told you that one single nut, yes, just one, could silently damage your liver, spike your blood pressure, and even cloud your memory? And what if I told you that most seniors are eating it right now, believing it's healthy? The truth is, this common snack, often praised by magazines and low-carb diets, has been quietly linked to everything from inflammation to organ damage. And the worst part? Most doctors never mention it. I'm Dr. James, a senior health specialist with over 30 years of clinical experience helping men and women over 60 regain control of their energy, circulation, and confidence, naturally. For decades, we've been told that all nuts are good for you. But today, I'll show you why that's dangerously outdated advice. Because while 4 specific nuts can strengthen your heart, brain, bones, and thyroid, 4 others may be doing the exact opposite. In this video, I'll reveal the 4 nuts you should eat every single day to protect your body and mind, along with the 4 you must avoid at all costs if you want to stay strong, sharp, and independent. And trust me, you'll want to stay with me until the end, because the final nut I'll reveal is one that nearly every senior keeps in the kitchen, and just removing it from your diet could add years to your life. Let's get started. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss another life-saving tip designed specifically for seniors like you. And if this message resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I'm here to serve you better every time. Now let's begin with the good news. 4 powerful nuts that every senior should eat daily. These aren't just snacks, they're natural medicine for your heart, your brain, your bones, and your energy. Add them to your routine and you may feel stronger, think clearer, and even sleep better, starting in just a few days. 1. Almonds, the bone and brain protector. I still remember one of my patients, Margaret, age 72, who came into my office worried about her sudden balance issues and constant fatigue. She assumed it was just old age, but what we discovered was that her bone density had sharply declined, and no one had told her that something as simple as a daily handful of almonds could help protect her. You see, almonds are not just a healthy snack. For seniors, they are a natural ally against 2 silent threats: brittle bones and declining brain function. Almonds are packed with calcium and magnesium, 2 nutrients essential for maintaining strong, resilient bones. But here's the magic. Magnesium helps transport calcium where it belongs, into your bones, not your arteries. That's critical, especially after 60, when calcium buildup in arteries becomes a real threat to heart health. Almonds also contain vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that works alongside flavonoids in the almond skin to protect your brain cells from oxidative stress, which is one of the major drivers of memory loss as we age. And let's not forget digestion. Many older adults silently suffer from constipation, which affects quality of life more than most realize. Just a small serving of almonds each day provides a fiber boost that keeps your system moving. Choose them raw or dry roasted with the skins on, and chew slowly, not only to reduce choking risk, but to give your body time to absorb all the nutrients. Margaret started eating almonds daily, and within a month she said she felt sharper and steadier on her feet. It wasn't a miracle, just nature working the way it's meant to. But almonds are only the beginning. There's one nut that looks almost exactly like your brain, and it turns out it might just be the best food for it. 2. Walnuts, the brain food that looks like a brain. It's hard to ignore the way walnuts resemble the human brain, and maybe that's nature's quiet way of telling us something important, because few foods support brain health in seniors the way walnuts do. I had a patient named Harold, a retired teacher in his late 70s, who once told me he feared losing his memory more than anything else. He'd seen close friends slowly fade into confusion and forgetfulness, and he was determined not to follow that path. We looked at his diet together, and one of the first things I recommended was simple: eat a small handful of walnuts every day. Walnuts are rich in alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that nourishes the brain's structure and improves the way it communicates. Studies show that seniors who consume walnuts regularly demonstrate better memory, sharper processing, and more mental flexibility. But it's not just the omega-3s. Walnuts contain polyphenols, special compounds that calm inflammation in the brain and even cross the blood-brain barrier, something very few nutrients can do. What many people don't know is that walnuts also contain melatonin, the hormone that signals your body to sleep. And as melatonin naturally declines with age, eating walnuts can help restore better sleep, something that is deeply tied to cognitive function. Better sleep means better memory, mood, and energy during the day. Harold made walnuts a daily habit, and he often told me how much more focused and clear-headed he felt. He started reading again. He even began writing in his journal every morning, something he hadn't done in years. But there's another nut, one that doesn't just support your mind but also protects your heart, lowers your blood pressure, and even shields your eyes from vision loss. And chances are, you've overlooked it for far too long. 3. Pistachios, the heart and eye guardian. I remember sitting across from David, a 68-year-old former truck driver who told me his vision had started to blur and his blood pressure was creeping up despite medication. "Doc, I don't want more pills," he said, his voice filled with quiet frustration. What he needed wasn't just more medicine, it was smarter nutrition. That's when I introduced him to pistachios. Not only are they one of the easiest nuts to enjoy, but for seniors, they're also one of the most powerful when it comes to heart health and protecting your eyes. Pistachios are rich in potassium, a mineral that helps your body balance sodium and naturally lowers blood pressure. Just 1 ounce provides as much potassium as half a banana, and unlike many salty snacks, pistachios do this without harming your heart. For seniors, this gentle blood pressure support can make a real difference, especially for those trying to manage hypertension without adding more prescriptions. But what really surprised David was when I told him pistachios also protect the eyes. They're packed with lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 antioxidants that guard against age-related macular degeneration, the leading cause of vision loss in people over 60. And unlike harder nuts, pistachios are easy on the teeth and gums, making them an ideal snack for those with dental work or sensitivity. Another benefit I love to mention is how shelling pistachios naturally slows down your eating. That pause between each bite allows your body to signal fullness, helping to avoid overeating, a common challenge as metabolism slows with age. After just a few weeks, David noticed he wasn't reaching for salty chips anymore, and his doctor reported improved blood pressure. He called it his green miracle. But pistachios aren't the end of the story. There's one more nut, a lesser-known powerhouse that supports your thyroid, your energy, and even the speed of your thinking. And believe it or not, you only need 1 or 2 a day. 4. Brazil nuts, the thyroid and energy restorer. When Eleanor, age 74, came to see me, she looked worn out. Her energy was low, her hands felt shaky, and she couldn't explain the sudden mood swings. "Is this just part of getting old?" she asked. But I knew right away we needed to look deeper, and what we found was an underactive thyroid. It's a condition that often goes undiagnosed in seniors because its symptoms mimic the aging process. That's when I recommended one of the most powerful but often overlooked nuts on the planet, Brazil nuts. Just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day can completely transform your thyroid health. Why? Because they are the richest natural source of selenium, a trace mineral that activates thyroid hormones and supports metabolism, mood regulation, and energy levels. While many supplements try to provide selenium, nothing compares to the bioavailable form found in Brazil nuts. But the benefits don't stop there. Brazil nuts also support your nervous system by maintaining myelin, the protective coating around your nerves that tends to break down with age. And some studies now suggest they may even help slow the shortening of telomeres, those tiny caps on your DNA that play a key role in aging itself. Eleanor added just 2 Brazil nuts to her breakfast routine, and within a few weeks she told me she felt more like herself again. Her hands steadied, her energy returned, and best of all, she felt hopeful. That's the power of the right nutrition. Just a few smart changes can make a world of difference. But while these 4 nuts are healing your body, there are others that could be quietly harming it. In fact, one common nut sitting in your pantry right now might be doing more damage than you realize, and it's time we talk about it. 5. Peanuts, the toxic legume in disguise. When I first met George, a 70-year-old retired firefighter, he told me with pride that he had replaced candy and chips with healthier snacks, mostly peanuts and peanut butter. He said, "Doc, I figured if it's natural and full of protein, it's got to be good, right?" I wish it were that simple. The truth is, peanuts are one of the most misunderstood foods in senior nutrition, and what George didn't know was that they were slowly working against him. Unlike true nuts, peanuts are legumes and they grow underground, making them highly susceptible to a toxic mold called aflatoxin. Over time, even small amounts of aflatoxin can harm your liver and increase the risk of certain cancers, especially when your body's detox systems aren't as efficient as they used to be. But that's not the only concern. Peanuts are also extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids, which throw off the delicate balance of inflammation in the body, something that's already harder to control as we age. What worries me most is their interaction with common medications. Peanuts contain compounds that can interfere with blood thinners like warfarin, which many seniors take to protect their hearts. And let's not forget commercial peanut butters, packed with added sugars, hydrogenated oils, and extra sodium, all of which can drive up blood pressure and damage aging arteries. I advised George to switch to almonds and walnuts instead. A few months later, he told me he felt less bloated, more focused, and was finally losing the stubborn weight around his midsection. But peanuts are just the beginning. There's another nut that many seniors love for its creamy texture, but what it does to your blood sugar and kidneys might shock you. Let's talk about that next. 6. Cashews, the blood sugar spike you didn't expect. When Linda, a 67-year-old grandmother of 5, told me she had replaced her evening desserts with a handful of cashews, she was proud of the switch. "They're so creamy and comforting," she said, "and they must be better than cookies, right?" I could hear the hope in her voice, and I hated being the one to break the news. Cashews are tasty, yes, but for aging bodies, especially those with blood sugar concerns, they can be surprisingly dangerous. Unlike other nuts, cashews are higher in carbohydrates and have a relatively high glycemic load. That means they raise blood sugar quickly, something especially harmful for the nearly 50% of older adults dealing with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. What's worse is that cashews contain oxalates, compounds that interfere with calcium absorption and can increase the risk of kidney stones, another problem that becomes more common after 60. There's more. The smooth, curved shape of cashews makes them one of the most aspirated nuts, meaning they're easy to accidentally inhale while chewing, especially for seniors with dry mouths or weakened swallowing reflexes. And commercial cashews are often roasted in unhealthy oils and heavily salted, which adds another layer of risk for those managing high blood pressure or digestive issues. When Linda cut out cashews and switched to pistachios and walnuts, her fasting blood sugar began to stabilize and her kidney function markers even improved. She told me I had no idea such a small change could make that big of a difference. But if you think cashews are risky, wait until you hear about the next nut. It's rich, it's buttery, and it's often marketed as a luxury health food. But for seniors, it may quietly be sabotaging your heart and your waistline. Let's take a closer look. 7. Macadamia nuts, the calorie bomb. Frank, one of my most cheerful patients at age 73, loved to treat himself in the afternoons with a small bowl of macadamia nuts. "They're so smooth, Doc," he'd laugh. "I could eat them all day." And that's exactly what worried me. Macadamia nuts are often viewed as a high-end, guilt-free snack, especially among seniors looking to eat healthier. But beneath that creamy texture and luxurious flavor lies a problem most older adults aren't warned about. Macadamias are the most calorie-dense nut you can eat, nearly 200 calories in just 1 ounce. And with aging comes a slower metabolism, making it easier to gain weight even if you're eating less than you used to. The high-fat content, while natural, includes a notable dose of saturated fat, which can raise LDL cholesterol levels. the very type of cholesterol that clogs arteries and increases the risk of heart disease. But it's not just the calories or fat. Macadamias are very hard, and I've seen more than a few patients chip crowns or damage dental work while eating them. For seniors with fragile teeth or jaw sensitivity, that's a real concern. Plus, because they're expensive, many people buy cheaper, low-quality versions that sit on store shelves too long, turning rancid and producing harmful oxidized fats that silently damage the liver and arteries. I encouraged Frank to switch to a mix of walnuts and pistachios. He lost weight without trying, and his cholesterol numbers improved faster than either of us expected. But the most dangerous nut of all, the one I urge every senior to eliminate immediately, is still ahead. It can interfere with your medications, disrupt your sense of taste, and even accelerate age-related vision loss. Let me tell you what it is and why it's worse than you think. 8. Pine nuts, the medication interferer. I'll never forget Ruth, a vibrant 76-year-old who came to me feeling puzzled. She had been eating clean, walking daily, and following every instruction her doctors gave, yet her blood pressure remained unstable, her appetite had vanished, and she said everything tasted metallic. "It's like I'm chewing on coins," she said, half joking but clearly frustrated. After reviewing her food journal, one quiet culprit stood out: pine nuts. A few tablespoons sprinkled on her salads and pasta dishes each week had triggered what's known as pine nut syndrome, a little-known condition that causes a lingering bitter or metallic taste for days, even weeks. But the real danger runs deeper. Pine nuts contain compounds that can interfere with how your body processes more than 60% of commonly prescribed medications, especially statins, antidepressants, and blood pressure drugs. For older adults on multiple prescriptions, that's a serious issue. If your medications aren't working properly because of what you're eating, you could be unknowingly risking your heart, your brain, or even your life. There's more. Pine nuts are rich in polyunsaturated fats, which oxidize quickly and can promote inflammation, especially dangerous for those already dealing with arthritis, joint pain, or autoimmune issues. And due to their small size and slippery texture, they can pose a choking risk, particularly for seniors with dry mouth or difficulty swallowing. Once Ruth eliminated pine nuts from her meals, the metallic taste disappeared, her appetite returned, and her medication finally began to stabilize her blood pressure. She said it felt like waking up from a fog. Now that you know which nuts to eat and which to avoid, the real question is, what happens if you make these changes today? Let's talk about what you can expect in just 7, 14, and 30 days, and how small steps can lead to powerful results. Conclusion: what you can expect in 7, 14, and 30 days. I've watched countless patients just like you transform their health simply by changing the nuts they reach for each day. In just 7 days, many notice less bloating, more stable energy, and even improved digestion. By 14 days, blood pressure may begin to normalize, sleep becomes deeper, and that stubborn brain fog starts to lift. And by 30 days, something deeper shifts. Your body begins to feel stronger, your mind clearer, and you start to believe again that aging doesn't have to mean decline. Let's not forget, almonds strengthen your bones and sharpen your memory. Walnuts fuel your brain and restore restful sleep. Pistachios protect your heart and your vision. And Brazil nuts, with just 1 or 2 a day, can reignite your thyroid and energy. On the other hand, peanuts, cashews, macadamia nuts, and pine nuts may be working against everything you're trying to protect. I'm not here to scare you, I'm here to empower you. These small changes aren't just about living longer, they're about living better on your terms. So take a look at your pantry, make the switch, and give your body the chance to feel good again. It's never too late to start.